What's up, guys? So we're out here for vacation in sunny Florida, and as you know, I've been getting a ton of miles in the Asics Blast 4, and every time I make a video about this shoe, talking about how protective it is, how much value you get for $140, how it has a nice, smooth bounce to it, it seems like people are angry, legitimately angry at me, mad at me, seething with rage that I have not tried a shoe called the Asics Superblast. And the Blast is not the Superblast, right? There's a $60 difference. This is designed as a daily trainer, but oh man, the Superblast out here, it has some big fans. So I ordered the Superblast a few weeks ago. I've been saving it for the perfect time. It is wrapped up beautifully within this orange shirt here because I didn't want to be that guy taking shoe boxes in the car in the mom wagon down to Florida. So Mason and I did an unboxing a few nights ago. I'll pop that here for you guys. You guys have seen the title of the video. It's like every single video that I post, whether it's about this shoe or not, somebody's name dropping it. So you guys bullied me into buying this shoe. It's the non-plated shoe that runs like a plated shoe. It's the illegal stack height shoe that's not a racing shoe, but it's as good as a racing shoe, plus a recovery shoe, plus a workout shoe. It is the best running shoe of all time. It is the Asics Superblast. Wow, this is very light. And since then, I have not looked at the Superblast. I tossed it in the suitcase. I did my best to not take a look at what was in the suitcase. It had one of those away suitcases where half of the thing, you can close it. So last night I had Charlie sneak in, wrap him up in my orange REI shirt here, and we can do a little unshirting of the Superblast, and then we're going to take it out for some miles. This has got to be the most highly requested shoe ever on this channel. You guys bullied me, you forced me, you cajoled me into buying this shoe. I know I can't say anything good about the Blast anymore with the Superblast name getting brought up, so we got it here, and we are going to put it through the absolute paces, as you guys know. So without further ado, let's unveil this. Let's see what colorway we have. Boom. Wow, that is a I forgot how these looked in the Florida light here. This is a vibrant pink. This is like a salmon pink. This is highlighter pink crossed with salmon pink. Played a salmon, in the words of Jadakiss. That's what this looks like. Bang, look at that. With the pink trees. Man, this shoe is going to go off. All right, guys, Asics Superblast right here. This has been the long-awaited. Now we got it, the marvelous, the gorgeous. It has the FF Turbo, not FF Blast Plus. We got the FF Turbo. This is Asics Racing Foam. And similar to what we see in the Nova Blast, let's pop these shoes down right here. You can see both of these guys have that super chunky look. You got the chunky heel in the Nova Blast here, and then you also got that chunky heel in the Superblast. But key difference is Superblast, as you guys have been telling me, it's using the race foam. This is some sort of a PIBA or PIBA competitor. It might be a supercritical TPEE, something slightly different. This is Asics top tier racing foam. And on the bottom, you got the dual foam layer, so FF Blast Plus, a little bit firmer layer on the bottom here. And what's interesting is, and you know I don't like when brands do this, but when they use the same foam name for different foams, this feels like a completely different foam than we have in the Nova Blast. So this is the FF Blast Plus. So of course they're both called FF Blast Plus, but even if you can see me push it in here, it seems like it's a little bit softer than what we get in the Nova Blast, which is a little bit firmer. Now, comparing these two visually, they look super similar. And Mason, when we did the unboxing, she said, "Oh, Dad, you have another shoe that looks like this." They look really similar, but key differences, right? FF Turbo, and then 45 millimeters of stack up here. This is going to be the tallest training shoe that I have. The Hoka Cielo X1 was actually measured by Running Warehouse as 46 millimeters of stack back here, but they had some trickery where they cut off the foam here, so it wasn't as tall through the measurements. But this is a true illegal shoe, 45 millimeters of stack out in the back, and you can see they do a nice job extending the foam. You got that nice caboose, which should make this a good option for all types of foot strikes, forefoot, midfoot, and rear foot landings. That's similar to what the setup is that we see in the Nova Blast. However, here, and one of my main issues with the Nova Blast was you had a bit of a disconnected feeling. With the Superblast, you're not seeing that same disconnected, same two-piece look. It's a little bit smoother right here. So I'm hoping we don't get as much of that slapping sensation that I got in the Novablast. Now, similar to the Novablast, we do have that wide base. This should give it some nice stability. And guys, holding it in my hand, this feels like a very light shoe. I did pop it on the scale as soon as I got it, so I will cut to that now. All right, so let's pop this guy on the scale here. Right shoe, 266 grams, and these are an 11. They did not have a 10.5, so 266 grams for the right and the left. Let's pop the tag off. Left is 262.5. Not bad. All right, back to the video. Now, also, let me just appreciate the design. This is a very good-looking shoe, and this colorway, the salmon colorway, it goes off, man.
Dude, they're fresh.
Yeah, I know. Even Charlie thinks they're cool. She said they're fresh. Where was I? Oh, the design. Yeah, the design is sick. This colorway is sick. The salmon colorway, super nice. And I think they did a nice job emphasizing that it is a big stack shoe, but without making it look like a clown shoe. It doesn't look like a clown shoe. It looks like a big shoe, but it's still clean. And I think Asics has a nice design language across a lot of their shoes, similar to Novablast, similar to the new Metaspeed Edge Sky Paris and Metaspeed Edge Paris and Sky Paris. I don't know why they don't just call them the three. They went Edge and then Edge Plus and then Edge Paris, but it's the three. But this guy here, Superblast 1, we will see a Superblast 2 later this year. Decent amount of padding in the upper, super lightweight upper. This feels more like a racing upper than a training upper. I've been rocking with the Novablast a lot recently, and this has a nice soft t-shirt-like material, a little bit closer to the Gel Nimbus. This feels like a racing upper, and that's what's going to give it that super lightweight 266 grams in a US men's 11. Now, I did have to get this in an 11, not my typical 10.5, because I could not find one single website in the United States, and I searched dozens of websites. I could not find one that had a 10.5 in any colorway out there. So I didn't even choose this colorway. This was just the only shoe out there that would fit me. So it's a size 11 in this cool salmon. Let's do a quick little bend test, and this is a very expensive shoe, so I apologize to anybody who's going to be offended. This is extremely stiff, and there's a reason why I held out so long for getting this shoe. And so a lot of you know last year I quit plated shoes. I was running in a lot of shoes like the Rebel V3, shoes with lower stack. Now, if you look at this, 45, it is absolutely massive. I know they did a nice job concealing that, not making it look like a silly shoe, but I was running in shoes like the Rebel. Even the Mach felt like it had maybe a little bit too much pop for me. But this shoe has the spirit of a plated shoe. And the reason I quit plated shoes was I didn't just have something against carbon fiber. It was going toward more connected, lower stack, more natural feeling shoes. And so this has the same spirit, ethos, vibe as a plated shoe, which is giving you a lot of protection at a super lightweight, giving a really unnatural ride experience. So it's not natural to feel like you have 2 inches of foam under your foot. And so that's the reason I didn't go for this when I went in my non-plated stage. If I was just saying I want to quit plated shoes because I have something against the plates themselves, then I could have used this shoe, but it felt like a little bit of a loophole to me. This does everything that a plated training shoe like a Boston 12, SC Trainer, Speed 4 does. This is the same type of shoe, and I wasn't running in any of those shoes, so I didn't go for the Superblast either. But, take two. Hey, yeah, there we go. But it is now March 2024. You guys have been requesting this for what seems like years now. It's only been months. And so we're going to lace it up, do a little fit and feel, and then we'll see how it rides. Let's go. What a bed and a plate of salmon. Man, I'm going to keep marveling at this thing. This is a good looking shoe, man. Are we sure we're ready to lace it up? I don't know. Should I do another sub 3 marathon this weekend in the Asics Superblast? What do you guys think? That'll really get them triggered, huh? We gon' make it. We gon' make it. We gon' make it. Guys, did you know that We Gon' Make It by Jadakiss and Styles P was produced by The Alchemist? I learned that, I think, last year. Anyway, lacing up the Superblast for the first time. About a half size up from where I normally go. We should be okay on these. Half size up is usually fine for me, especially if it's just a training shoe. I can throw on some thicker socks, but this is beautiful. Good fit, really nice fit. Got a little bit of extra room, but we'll be good to go. I switch between 10.5 and 11 usually, so this is good. Also, one thing I wanted to show you here, as I'm lacing it up, I really like what they did with the tongue. It's kind of random, but this Asics logo, Sound Body, is cool. All right, so we got the left on, super comfortable fit. And again, guys, I don't know why, because it is a tall stack shoe, but it doesn't feel as tall as some other tall stack shoes that I've worn recently, like the Hoka Cielo X1. When I put that thing on with the 46 millimeters, which is basically the same as this at 45, and this might actually be the same as that because this is half a size bigger. So let's just say the stacks are equivalent between the Cielo X1 and this. This feels a lot more normal, a lot more stable, and I think it's because if you look at the geometry down here, even though you get a lot of foam, it still feels like a normal running shoe geometry. So it's almost like they took the geometry of a Pegasus or a Clifton and just doubled the stack or raised the stack by 50%, and they made this shoe. So it doesn't feel super weird to lace up and put on, and now I'm understanding why people recommend it so much, because it doesn't feel like a super squiggly, squishy max cushion shoe. It's got some nice structure to it, and still feel like I'm wearing a normal training shoe. Now, one thing I am noticing is it feels like a long shoe. This isn't just because it's in a 11. I had the same experience in the Nova Blast, which was a 10.5, but something about how they sculpt the foam and this little caboose out here on the back makes it feel like it has a very long platform. So that's the same thing that we're getting in this guy. All right, little walking test in the Asics Superblast. And this is not a walking shoe. Please do not buy this if you need a walking shoe. I know people on the forums, there'll be people who write questions. I want a good running shoe for taking a trip to Rome and walking around the Colosseum. Oh, get the Superblast, because they'll be, oh, my budget is $200. Get the Superblast. No. Do not get the Superblast if you want a walking shoe. Get the Nike Pegasus, get the Cumulus, don't get the 880. You can get the 1080 if you want a soft shoe. Get the Brooks Ghost Max. This is not a walking shoe, but feels pretty stable. There's no instability going on. There's no squishy squirreliness. Again, a little bit of a long platform similar to that Nova Blast, but other than that, feels pretty much like standard running shoe. I'm impressed. It doesn't feel as tall as I would have expected. Now, lockdown, just walking, is solid. I'm not getting any lace bite. The tongue is not the most padded. And I know they're going for weight savings here, but across the Nova Blast and this, I wish they would have done a little bit more padding on the tongues. Small knock, though, because you do get some good padding around the back, and it is an overall pretty comfortable fit. Decently wide, roomy toe box as well in this size 11. All right, guys, so we're looking pretty crispy. We're feeling pretty good. I think plan for this run today is to get 8 to 12 miles this afternoon. I didn't wake up this morning and do my early morning run. What time is it? It is 12:52. I don't know if you can see that at all, but it's 12:52. I didn't do my super early morning run, so we're probably just going to do a single run today. We'll see. I say that now, but we'll see. I might do a double with stroller. It's also Reese's boy's birthday, so we got some good family time in this morning. I decided not to completely ruin his birthday and come back late, so we did bagels. We did a nice family walk, and now I'm going to get 8 to 12 miles here in this beautiful neighborhood. And I think I'll probably just do normal aerobic pace, probably throw in some strides, test out how these feel for an hour-long run. We'll have lots of opportunities to put some more mileage in this. But how do they feel for an hour-long run? How do they feel with some pace pickup? And then we'll come back, zoom over here, probably throw the camera right on top of the mom wagon there, and get a little post-run analysis. So let's get it, guys. Asics Superblast first run, the long-awaited. Let's go. Bang, first run of the Superblast complete. Let's see, we got 10 miles at a 6:52 pace, 1 hour and 9 minutes. So yeah, we were moving pretty good in these Salmon Superblast out here, and I wasn't anticipating I was getting into that steady zone, but these just felt like they wanted me to go fast, so we went fast, and they felt great. All right, I'm gonna unlace these, get a few sips of water, and then we can hit the analysis. Now, what's interesting about these shoes is they feel like nothing I've ever run in before, and everything that I've ever run in before at the exact same time, right? Because there's nothing else on the market that gives everything that this does in one package. There's nothing with this much cushion, this much protection, this much pop at this lightweight, which is, I understand, this is why you guys are absolutely obsessed with this thing, right? But then at the same time, you could buy 2 or 3 or 4 shoes and smash them all together, and this is exactly what you get. It's a Frankenstein shoe, right? All right, guys, wrap up time. Let's go. All right, guys, 10-mile first run in the Asics Superblast, and I almost went 12 miles, full disclosure, but I decided not to be a hero, so we pulled back at 10. Now, we are down here in sunny Florida, Port St. Lucie. It's right outside of West Palm. We're at Charlie's grandparents' house, and it's absolutely beautiful down here. As you can see, we got palm trees. We also got a little bit of an ocean breeze whipping through here, and it's a little bit hotter, more humid than I'm used to, so we were working pretty good. Got to get those electrolytes in after. Now, Asics Superblast, man, this thing is an absolute beast. It is a Frankenstein of a shoe. It combines a lot of elements, as I was saying, of shoes that I've enjoyed in the past into one package, right? So if you think about the stack here, I did not, for a long time, love max cushion shoes, which is one of the reasons why I didn't go for the Superblast when I was doing that low cushioned, low, more minimal period last year, non-plated period. I went for shoes like the Rebel, the Mach, the Pegasus. This guy has 45 millimeters of stack, and it reminds me not of the same ride, but of a shoe like the New Balance 1080 V13, right? If you take the protection of a shoe like that, a shoe like the Nova Blast, and combine it with the pop and the race day foam of a shoe like the Boston 12, plus the lightweight of a racing shoe like the Vaporfly, that's what I'm getting in the Superblast here. And so I totally understand the hype. I think this is what you guys want me to say. I understand the hype. It is not an overrated shoe. It is not an overhyped shoe. However, from this first run here, I do not think it's going to be as versatile as it is made out to be, because it was encouraging me to pick up the pace and to put some force and to put some speed into the shoe. So as I mentioned, I was planning to go out into a normal aerobic territory, probably 7:30 to 8:15, even recovery pace. I'm not trying to do too much because I did that 26.2 miles on Sunday. But as soon as I started turning over the legs in this thing, it wanted me to go faster. It wanted me to run down into that steady zone, getting into that marathon pace zone. I think I dipped into the 6:30s for some of the miles. And that's what this shoe was really encouraging me to do. So if you see the stack here, this top layer of FF Turbo, this is the star of the show. This is what is giving so much bounce and pop. And this is also the same thing that is kind of forcing me to run a little bit faster than I'd want to. So that is the trade-off of this shoe, right? And oftentimes on this channel, we talk about trade-offs. Every single video, I tell you, if you're gonna get a little bit of a firm shoe, that likely means more stability. Softer, bouncier shoes, you're getting a little bit more fun. With this guy, the trade-off is you got this FF Turbo foam. It's fast, it's fun, it's bouncy, but it is not going to be the best for running at a relaxed pace. And today, that's what the shoe proved to me. So the trade-off with this guy is it can do a ton. It can do long runs, it can do faster, shorter runs, and I know that's why you guys love it. It gives a lot of protection, so that's why it's also okay for recovery running, but it's also gonna ping and pop you right along and encourage you to go probably 15 to 45 seconds faster than you might otherwise. And so that's not a bad trade-off to have. It's not bad to have a shoe go a little bit faster than you want to. But with my style of training, the reason I'm able to do a 26.2 mile long run is because I run more mileage than necessary at a slower pace than I'm capable of. And that is the basis for the entire system of training that I have. The high mileage supports better recovery, it supports being able to do longer long runs, and it supports doing a lot of time on feet. But with that, if I'm doing 90-minute runs every morning, if I'm doing an hour-long run with the stroller every afternoon, I'm not needing to push the pace to get the same aerobic stimulus that you might have to do if you're only doing one 90-minute run per week. And so with my style of training, I don't necessarily need a shoe like the Superblast. This is an awesome shoe, but I could do the same type of run in a shoe like the New Balance 1080 and get the same benefit. And so what you're getting out of this shoe is a little bit of a faster pace in training, a little bit of quicker recovery. But for me, I don't prioritize running faster in training all that often. I do prioritize quicker recovery. And so I think that's gonna be the biggest benefit of this shoe for me. And for other runners who are doing high mileage, want to start reaching up, adding more hour-long runs, 90-minute runs, a shoe like the Asics Superblast is going to keep you a lot more protected than a Nike Pegasus, a Brooks Ghost, or a New Balance 880. However, and I know some of you are going to get annoyed at me by saying this, but you're going to get a lot of the same benefit, that same protectiveness out of the Asics Nova Blast, and that's why I loved this shoe so much. As I was testing this over the past few weeks, it is so protective. Every single time I ran in this shoe, I walked away feeling like my legs were fresh. I did a 3-hour long run in this and it felt absolutely amazing. And that's a similar benefit as we were getting here. Run longer, feel fresher, and run a little bit harder the next day if that is the goal in training. So with that, I'm excited to put this shoe, the Superblast, through the paces. I want to put a ton of mileage into the shoe to see how it responds, to see, is it going to give me that same protection? Is it going to give me that same support that I expect out of a max cushion shoe? And I want to test this shoe at that top end speed because I know a lot of you guys do use this for workouts, and walking away from today, getting down to that almost marathon pace range, steady zone, this felt really nice. And so for the ride itself, other than the protection, it was bouncy, it felt fast. No matter what pace I was going out there, it felt like a nice shoe to run in. However, at those slower aerobic paces, it wasn't my favorite, and even at the faster steady paces, it was a little bit on the firmer side, and you can't have a stack of 45 millimeters of foam non-plated with it being super soft. So that's why it's firm, and I don't mind a little bit of a firmer shoe, but it is a little bit firmer than some of the plated training shoes out there, like the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4, New Balance SC Trainer V2. It might be comparable to the Adidas Boston 12, but that one is a little bit lower stack, and once the Light Strike Pro breaks in, I think that one might give a little bit of a softer feel to this, but of course we're gonna have to do a head-to-head comparison. So overall, this is a fun shoe, a non-plated shoe that rides like a plated shoe, a ton of protection, ton of bounce, ton of speed, very stable. Not much we can say about the outsole grip because, as you can see, it is bone dry out here, absolutely beautiful. But if it is anything like the Nova Blast here, we can assume it's not going to be very good, and it does look pretty similar. I will confirm to see if it's the same compound, but that was my one weak point on the Nova Blast here. But for the weight that you're getting out of this guy, I'm impressed with the stack and the speed. We are gonna get a lot more mileage out of this soon, so stay tuned. We'll be back with a double later. All right, guys, it is 4:50. We have a grumpy birthday boy. Are we gonna do the Patagonia baggies? Because all of my running clothes they need to be washed. So Patagonia baggies, run number 2. And the Superblast over there. We're gonna run to Walgreens to pick up some pictures of the birthday boy. All right, baggies are on. Let's get it. You ready, buddy? You wanna get your shoes on? Charlie tied my Ghost Max in the non-certified way. Flop everywhere. All right, we got a little bit of a grumpy Reevesy here. Nap time has been a mess on vacation, but we're gonna do 7 miles. It's about 3.5 to Walgreens, 3.5 back, just enough so we can bank some early mileage this week in the Superblast. And so first run was fast. I was not trying to go that fast, but these were just goading me into dipping down to sub 7 pace. And so the goal for this run is to not be moving fast because we're gonna have the stroller. We'll probably be around that 8 to 8:30 pace, just moving the legs, going to run some errands, literally run to pick up his birthday pictures, and test how these do at a little bit of a slower pace. And this is our normal schedule, right, Reevesy? Almost every day when mommy's cooking dinner, we go out and run. And so this is a hybrid daily trainer / speed shoe. And so, should I put on another song? Okay, he likes the interlude. I'm not gonna change the interlude. Listen to some Larry June. But this is a hybrid daily trainer and speed shoe. And so this is more of the daily trainer side of things. How can it do on a normal, everyday aerobic stroller run? So let's get it. All right, guys, we made it. Walgreens, 5:40. I think we got about 4 miles. Yeah, 33 minutes and 3.99 miles halfway here. These Superblast are a little firm for a nice, relaxed stroller run. So I know the benefit is supposed to be they're good for everything, but kind of feels like I'm killing an ant with a machine gun doing this stroller run in a pair of Superblast. But I do have to say, these are a lot more comfortable for walking than I would have anticipated. And I think I actually might prefer them for walking over slow running. So walking and fast running, good. Relaxed running, as of right now, not my favorite, but we got another 3.5, 4 miles back to the GP's house. But first we gotta pick up these pictures. Can we make it? Can we make it? Just barely made it. All right. All right, guys, again, Walgreens trip was a success. And again, I don't know why I said again. I only said that one time. The Walgreens trip was a success. And again, the Superblasts, these are mad comfortable for walking. I'm understanding why this is such a versatile shoe, but I didn't love it for the first half of this run. So we'll have to see how it does for our little jump back home. I'll see you guys in approximately 30 minutes. There we go. 7.16 miles, almost exactly an hour, an 8-minute and 19-second pace. So one thing, I've said this before, but marathon training and getting better at running in general, it's all about consistency. And our ability, me and Ravesy Boy right here, to consistently bang out these 8-minute to 8:30 pace miles every afternoon with the stroller is high right now. So consistency, man. And these shoes though, these are not the shoes for what we're doing right now, which for me is an everyday run. This is the type of run where I want a normal daily trainer, and the Superblast, these are most certainly not a normal daily trainer. And I actually don't like that word normal, but what I mean is a moderately cushioned daily trainer that performs well at my everyday running pace. So anywhere between 7:15 and 8:45. And these so far have not felt like a daily trainer because they don't perform well at those paces. So far, the Superblast has performed best at a marathon pace or a little bit slower at a steady pace. And it seems that this shoe is designed for a little bit of faster running. And with how much foam we're getting here, I do get a little bit of a feeling like I'm fighting against the foam, at least this afternoon, and I'd rather have a 1080, so more of a max cushion shoe. I'd rather have a Vomero or a Novablast even on my foot for a type of run like this. And so versatile, I'm not sure. I think what the hype is with this shoe is that it's not a plated shoe, but it rides like a plated shoe. And that's the key thing with it. And that's why I didn't use it for so long. I didn't need another plated training shoe. And that's what this is giving me vibes of. It's a nice, non-plated shoe that rides like a plated training shoe. And that's also super comfortable for walking. And so I'm not really sure why I like it for walking so much so far, but not for the slower running. It seems like once I start running in it, something with the firmer FF Turbo foam is really just wanting me to rip off some pace. And I don't know what it is. It wants me to go fast. And so that's how I'm feeling about this shoe so far. Nice shoe for fast running. Not my favorite for daily training, but we're gonna get a lot more miles than this. Probably do a double day in it, do some comparisons this week. So we got some time to work into it. And I know some of you have said this is a shoe that requires some break-in. All right, guys, so we are walking back into the house here, and we got to do some birthday stuff. Day one with the Superblast though, yes, it is a very protective shoe. It is a fast shoe, but not a versatile shoe. Not even in my top 5 versatile or most versatile shoes that I've run in. So maybe I'll have to come up with that list and give it to you guys while I'm untying my shoes here. But yes, verdict for speed. Nah, daily training, recovery, not so sure. And then the salmon colorway here, this is A+. And we are, what time is it? Ooh, it is 6:27. You guys can't even see that. So we're gonna turn to a pumpkin. All right, top 5 most versatile shoes. Saucony Endorphin Speed 3. Original, before we turn into a pumpkin Reezy, original Adidas Ultra Boost, which I put 700 miles on. We gotta keep going. Adidas Boston 12. Not great for slower running, but honestly a little bit better than this. Let me see. On Cloud Stratus 2, and a little bit of a firmer one, but Puma Velocity Nitro 3. Very versatile shoe if you like something firm. I did recovery runs in that, and I did 22-mile long runs in that. I think that was 5. Let me see if I can get one more for bonus. Oh, Saucony Triumph 20. Okay, there we go. We're going to turn into a pumpkin. All right, guys, so last thing I want to say about the Superblast before we go and shower here is this definitely is an impressive shoe from an engineering standpoint, being able to get 45 millimeters of stack in here without the plate, have it run as fast as it does, and be the weight that it is. Not that it's a super lightweight shoe, but decently light. However, it didn't blow me away because it didn't deliver any specific one thing that I haven't gotten from another shoe. And at $200, I'm expecting a shoe to be great. Whereas with the Nova Blast, I was a little bit more impressed because the value that we're getting out of this shoe, the amount of foam, and also the engineering feat to get 42 millimeters of stack and this big wide base, it's a little bit more impressive to me. And I think this serves a lot of runners really well. Now, for a non-plated shoe, this is a really nice choice. It's fast, it's fun, but it felt best at those fast paces. And so when I put this on, it did remind me of that initial Adidas Ultra Boost, one of my first real running shoes I had, because it's giving you a ton of foam, it's got a nice bounce, it's protective, and it has that sort of cushion that completely deadens the ride quality, but it's not sucking your energy away like a softer max cushion shoe might do. That's a similar thing that we get in the Nova Blast here. So the Asics camp is putting out some pretty good stuff. I am hyped to get some more miles in these things, and hopefully we see this soften up a little bit, because this was on the firmer side. Even for me, I do enjoy firmer shoes, traditional EVA shoes. It does not ride like a traditional EVA shoe, and it feels the perfect amount of firm for fast running, but for anything more relaxed, a little bit less so. So the Salmon Superblast, shout out to Jadakiss, man. These things are fly, and they're great for flying through the neighborhood. So we're gonna put them through the paces. Let me know if there are any specific run tests you want to see me do with these guys this week, any specific workouts, any specific distances or paces you want to see me hit in these guys. Just drop it in the comments and I got you. I also did bring a few shoes that I'm going to compare this to, so we'll get those comparisons out some point over the next few days or next few weeks. All right, guys, as always, I appreciate you watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another video, baby. Let's go. Port St. Lucie, Florida, baby. Kobe.